Pastor Femi Ogunsanya is the senior pastor of Chapel of Transfiguration Global, a thriving church with several branches located in Lagos State and northern Nigeria.
May your name alone forever be praised in the name of Jesus.
Born in Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State in 1972, Pastor Femi spent his childhood days in Ibadan with his mother, who raised him and his siblings as a single mother. He attended Loyola College, Ibadan, and had his university education at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, where he gained a bachelor's degree in electronics and computer engineering and graduated with honors. In 1996, he was posted to Zaria, Kaduna State for his NYSC. Papa, as he is fondly called, began his banking career in Guarantee Trust Bank in 1997. Through hard work, dedication, discipline and the favor of God, he enjoyed rapid growth in the banking industry, advancing to the position of manager in less than 5 years. During his time in the banking industry, he received several trainings on management and information technology from reputable institutions in India, South Africa, London, and United States of America. He rose to become the Assistant General Manager and the Chief Information Officer of Spring Bank, now Heritage Bank, before he resigned in 2011. Papa, who met Christ when he was just 13 years old, received the call to start the Chapel of Transfiguration Church in 1996 during his NYSC days, and in February 2002, COC Global was inaugurated. After he resigned from banking in 2011, he went into full-time ministry as instructed by God. A lover of God and a humanitarian at heart, Pastor Femi has received several awards for his philanthropic and charitable acts across the country. He was also listed in the Guardian newspaper as one of Nigeria's top 50 men of integrity. He is the author of Spirit and Life Daily Devotional, a partnership-funded devotional distributed freely quarterly. He is also the author of the transformational book Sure Path to Success and the couple's guide titled Marriage Handbook. He is married to Pastor Mrs. Olajumoke Ogunsanya, and their union is blessed with 4 amazing children.
My name is Pastor Femi Ogunsanya. I'm the senior pastor of Chapel of Transfiguration. And I'm married to Pastor Olajumoke Ogunsanya. We are blessed with 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. And by the grace of God, this is my 20 years of pastoring Chapel of Transfiguration. Okay, it's very interesting. I actually grew up in Ibadan. I think I spent the first 2 years of my life in Ijebu-Igbo, and I don't really have memory of that period, but I remember that I was told that after my father and my mother got separated, I moved with my mom to Ibadan. So you know what it means to grow up with a single parent. It was very tough. I remember in those days, in order to ensure that we have enough to eat in the house, we went into were involved in child labor. Initially I hug pure water, we call it then, or minerals, we call it then, soft drink, and then some other thing at different time in my childhood stage. But we needed to do it then because that was the only way the family would survive. And I remember too that I had difficulty coping academically as a child. My primary education was almost a mess. I was not doing well at all. And that was the same way I entered into secondary school up to my Form 2 in secondary school. But when I met Jesus, the whole story changed. And God did a miracle. I moved all the way from the back to second position in the class. I think growing up there was fun. It's not like today that parents usually lock up their children at home. Then we have some level of freedom. Like I said, I was walking at some point. I would go to Motor Park. As a child, I was less than 10, alone to go and say. So that will tell you the level of freedom our primary school there was quite far away from home, so we usually trek in groups, so maybe up to 1 kilometer every morning and coming back the same way. We go about playing football, and so it was fun growing up. And there was connection between me and my sibling, even though there was no real father figure. At some time, my mother remarried, you understand, but none of those, the marriage was not also anything significant to talk about, because none of those, there was not really a father figure. But despite the fact that I have brothers and sisters, but the relationship was so cordial, and we had fun growing up together. Okay, I think some of the major things that shaped my life is the fact that I never had the privilege of calling daddy. I can never remember calling somebody daddy passionately with that warmness that you are talking to your father as a child. And that is one of the reasons why growing up I told myself I will give my children the very best as a father, because that experience of not having a father figure really shaped the kind of father I am today. And also the fact that those experiences we had growing up, struggling, trying to make ends meet, as actually, and then eventually seeing ourselves that the children turn out to be somebody great in life, has also strengthened my faith about life, that what I never learned but what people do. So irrespective of what I face today, I can't really compare with the kind of challenges we had while growing up, and God saw us through all of that, and today we are what we are today. So that has also strengthened my faith that we may pass through tough situations in life, but as long as you are not giving up, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Achievement, I think is a tough one to say, talking about my own achievement. It would have been better if somebody is talking about it, but in my own perspective, if we talk about academic achievement in terms of how God helped me in my secondary school, and it's difficult for me to also take credit for it, because I know how the whole story started and how the miracle happened. You understand what I'm trying to say? Then talking about when I went into banking, becoming a manager in 4.5 years, getting to the level of assistant general manager. At the time I was in the last bank I worked, I'm probably the youngest assistant general manager in the bank. You understand? That seems like a major achievement compared to the career of other people. But in all of these things, when I look back and I see all that happened, I know I can't take credit for any of it, because it just purely by the grace of God.
Generally speaking, men and women are different. And we said last time out, I love the differences, I love at least the physiological differences between a male and a female are driven by the hormone testosterone. No, it's just, so it doesn't even matter whether you are XX, if you are, or you are XY. If you are XY, and then you have androgen insensitivity, so you are producing testosterone, but for one reason or the other, your body is not responding to that testosterone, you are going to develop like a female. So that's why we have all the intersex issues coming up, clinically speaking. So that's why we are, because testosterone drives and the differences are there, the mental changes, the physical changes, it just drives those differences. So what do you need to know about your man?
Okay, I remember going to banking. How did I get into banking in the first place? I studied computer engineering, and most people will think as an engineer, your preferred place of working will be either an engineering outfit or you work in the oil company. But I remember my senior brother entered into banking after graduating from Unilag, and then had the privilege of mixing with some of his friends, and that shaped my life. I saw a group of young people wearing white shirts, wear stars, with then Tokumbo cars, but they were the happening guys, and then I just decided, oh, this is the kind of life I want to live. So I started asking them that, can I also get into banking? And they said, okay, if you can get a 2-1, you can do very well in GMA, you won't have a problem getting a banking job. So I started putting my spending time studying GMA, and I was privileged to do aptitude tests. But it didn't just happen that way. Anyway, maybe I can talk about, because initially I thought I was going to go into ministry, but let me just tell you the way how I went into banking. So all the aptitude tests I did then, I passed all of them. Then eventually did interview in many banks. The Guarantee Trust Bank was one of the banks that interviewed me then. And I remember during the interview, I was asked that, where do I see myself in the next 5 years? But because I knew then that I was going to be a pastor, and I knew God has told me that I will start my ministry in 5 years' time, I thought I would be going into full-time ministry in 5 years' time. So I told them, I just felt that, oh, if I'm going to be banking in 5 years, I should be able to achieve something meaningful within these 5 years. So I told them I want to be a manager in the next 5 years. So they all laughed, because they felt that it was a tall ambition, looking at the levels I have to pass through to get to that level. But miraculously, I was in Guarantee Trust Bank for 2.5 years. Then I was a banking officer. Then one day I went for a wedding ceremony. I met one of my former colleagues who told me that another bank is looking for an IT staff. Then Femi Pedro was the MD of that bank. And then I was asked to come and meet with him. After meeting with Femi Pedro, my next level was to be a senior banking officer. But in that particular bank then, there was nothing like senior banking officer. They have the banking officer, then the next level is assistant manager. So I was told that, okay, I should take my assistant level with a higher salary, but I said, no, I'm not ready to take that. So after they called me back and said, okay, they will give me AM. And that was how I jumped from banking officer to AM without passing through senior banking officer. About a month after I joined the bank now created banking officer. Meaning that if I come a month later, I won't have that privilege of getting assistant manager. Then 1 year after that time, I was promoted because of my performance to deputy manager. Then the following year, there was another promotion. Then I was not promoted. And when I was not promoted, I felt bad because I felt at work. And there was one of my colleagues that was promoted. I felt there was nothing that guy did that I didn't do. So the MD saw that I was not happy. So he set up a panel of the senior top management of the bank to talk to me, and myself and Mr. I think the name is Bayo Adetiku, the former deputy governor of CBN. He was a manager then, expecting to be promoted to senior manager, but he was not promoted. So they made the two of us. And so in that meeting, they told us that we should calm down, that in 6 months' time we should be able to get that promotion. Then one of the top management that spoke to us by the name Mr. Mike Chuku now called me later in the night that he has gotten an offer in another bank as a GM, and that would I love to go with him, and he will give me the manager immediately. And that was how I became a manager following him. And then after some time, he left that bank to become an MD in another bank. And he also put me from that bank to the bank where I became an MD. And that was how the whole story was until when I eventually became an assistant general manager. 4.5 years. Okay, I think the most important thing in life is to have vision and to aspire, to aim high for something that, because if the vision is not big, you know it's not a vision. You understand? As I said, when I told people, the panel, that I want to be a manager in 5 years, they laughed. They felt that what I said was not achievable. And humanly speaking, is difficult. But from my story, you saw that one thing led to the other, one thing led to the other. Before you knew it, I found myself there in the next 1.5 years. So vision also, and when you have a vision, say it out. You understand? Because confession bring possession, and then in your vision we should always realize that it's not by power. Because all that happens is not just by academic competence. You just see things happening, things beyond my control. One thing will just happen, and then one thing will lead to another, and then eventually what I said eventually came to pass. I was doing my work quite alright, because if I was not working that well, they will not set up a panel to talk to me. You understand? Be telling me that, oh, sorry, we didn't promote you, in the next 6 months we are going to give you. If I was not doing my work very well, I won't become a deputy manager from AM within 1 year. Even when the bank knew that AM that was given to me, I was not supposed to get that AM initially when I joined the bank. So there is aspect of hard work, aspect of vision, aspect of hard work, then aspect of growth factor. So these 3 things is what you need to really get to where you need to get to in life. Okay, so when I became an AGM, I remember then that one day the Lord told me that I should leave banking and go into full-time ministry. Over the years, I've come to understand the way God speaks to me, because there are so many major steps that I've taken, and I had no regret, because I was very sure that it was God that was speaking. And so when I got home that day, I told my okay. Then when I got that revelation, I told my wife that this is what God is telling me to do, and she has also come to realize that whenever I say God is talking, that all she needs to do is just to cooperate with me. And so we had a family meeting, because that's why I started to follow my children and let them know that this is the step, that is where you will be taking, and that things may not be the way it has been, but on the long run, things will be better than the way it is. Then I took a decision that I need to change my first son's school to a cheaper one, reduce some of the house assistants that we have, reduce the number of my driver to 1. I started cutting costs in preparation for my exit from banking. So I approached my MD and I told her, and she was telling me that, why do you have to do this? Many of my colleagues that can't you just ordain additional pastor? That while you are still a young man, you have a very good career and you have a prospect of becoming an ED at least, if you continue the way you are going. But I knew that was what God was telling me. And so I gave the bank 3 months notice that I will be leaving. A lot of people thought that maybe within 3 months I will change my mind. But at the end of that, expiration of that notice, I left the bank and I came into full-time ministry. And the rest is good. Okay, now this line is a very small word. Somebody just called me one day that guidance, they are trying to they want to publish 50, make a publication about 50 people that are 50 men of integrity in Nigeria, that I was nominated to be one of them. I don't know how they came about my name. I'm not somebody, I'm not really, I don't try to put myself in the public domain. I just do my work. But I remember that over the time in the bank, even people that are working with me, we know the kind of person I am. My stand about when it comes to taking bribe. I was privileged to be head of IT for many years. I sat on IT budget that worth millions at different times, because especially after the consolidation, IT became a big thing in the banking industry, and I knew the practice in the industry. I knew that to be an head of IT is a big thing, because it's a way to make a lot of money. Because 1% of 1 billion, 10% of 1 billion is a lot of money that you can negotiate with contractor. But I can say like Samuel, that I never negotiated anything with anybody. I never used my position as an opportunity to take advantage of anything. And you know, whatever you do, people are always watching. So I don't know who spoke to who. I don't know how those people got to know about me, but they just approached me that I was nominated as one of the 50 most men of integrity in Nigeria. So they did an interview, and there was a publication in Guardian that I'll give you one or two examples. I remember there was a time I was doing naming ceremony. That's the example my wife used to do. I just gave birth to a child, and you know, those periods you always need money. You're going to do naming, a newborn baby, and the vendor came, brought money that is unusual. You'll be wondering, it's like using an hammer to kill an ant. What are we doing that you are bringing this kind of money? You understand? And I turned it down because I knew it's just a way of buying me over. And then I also remember there was a time a particular vendor came to my office and said I should come and meet him at the car park. And I said, please, I don't meet customers, meet vendors at the car park. So he eventually came to my office. He said he has money in his boot, that what he just wanted is for me to move it from his own boot, they move it from his boot to my boot. And I said I don't take such things, that my salary is enough for me. He said he knows that I'm a pastor, that he is also a deacon in his church, that there is nothing bad in all of these things, that we are brothers, we are just helping one another. And I remember that time that I was going to take a decision to actually to terminate some of the contract we have with that particular vendor because the service level was not good. So he was just trying to preempt that decision by bringing money, thinking that with good money he will be able to buy me over. But I refused to take the money, and I eventually terminated those contracts. I think the way they respond to me is difficult for me to be talking about it. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm also a very reserved person. I was not really very social when I just mind my business in bank, do my work, but to a very large extent, I get for my subordinates, and I ensure that when it's time for promotion, they always have a very good share of promotion in the bank. I always speak for them in meetings. I don't know what is in their mind. I don't know whether anybody will love to take bribe and my body language is not making it possible for them to do. I can't speak their mind for them. Okay, I think the major issue is the issue of love of money. Our society, what society gives value to. Because today, people just want you to make money, they don't care how you make it. And that's why the youth of today, they can go to any length. Once you make money, nobody cares where the money is coming from. And that's a major thing that is really affecting our society. And that's why a lot of children are not even interested in education. Because they can point to 1, 2, 3 people that are maybe they have made it, and then they become social media influencers. Even though what they are doing is not good, but nobody is talking about it again. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the love for money, people just praising people because of what they are, not because of the value they subscribe to, is a major problem in our society today. I think my family is my world, because myself and my wife, we are partially together now that I'm in ministry. I spend my life around my family. I don't really go out. You understand? And my life is, I just office, family. That's the way I'm church. That's the way I live my life. And I'm not bored staying with my wife. I can stay with my wife for 10 hours without being bored. When I'm with my family, I don't really miss the world. You understand? So my life is just circle around the church, my family, and the work that I do. And I talk to my children a lot, we play. I catch on my phone in the home. In fact, when I'm in the house, it's like there is nothing else existing outside. Okay. Challenges. The interesting thing about some of these things is that I don't keep record of those things. But obviously, there will have been a lot of challenges. The obvious challenges of managing people. There are times that sometimes things happen in ministry, or maybe my wife complains about this particular issue, and I know that those things are really eating her up seriously. And it's also obvious to me that it's something that I should have just move in and take some decision and relieve her of that pain. But a lot of time I used to tell her that she should just go, that water will always find its level. And one of the things that I work for me, especially in ministry, is to allow time to pass. And as time goes on, things just get sorted out by itself without fighting. Because at times, the normal thing is that go and react. And in reacting, there could be friction. People can start having any kind of feeling that, oh, why did the Papa say this? But in some of those issues, my style has been, let those cool down. But after some time, everything will just flip. And the whole situation will just normalize. And everybody will just find this level. You understand? So that has been my major experience when it comes to challenges in ministry, that just be prayerful and allow God to work this out. And that does not mean that at times I have not taken some major step, decisive decision. But this one I'm telling you, many people don't even know. Those are things that happen behind the scene. When I just keep quiet, things are happening, I just sit back and watch and see how God will resolve the whole issue after some time. What I would tell anybody starting anything is to have resilience. I remember when we started, it was looking so encouraging. The first 6 months, then after a while, it was as if nothing is happening again. It was as if we are getting to a peak. You know, a ministry just got to 50, and a ministry just got to 40 something, and it's as if nothing is happening again for several months. Work and work and work, the church was not just going. Meanwhile, to get to that 40, it was that, you can imagine from 3 adults just quickly getting to 40, you just feel like, oh, God is with me, everything is working in my favor. Then all of a sudden, we are even with more effort, with more people working with you, you are not achieving the same result again. And it was like that for more than a year. Obviously I was frustrated. I was only able to share my frustration with my wife and with a friend. But all of a sudden, I just discovered that things just started moving again. Without even doing more than what we are doing before. And one day I just realized that, oh, we are past 50. Oh, now we are 80. You understand? So resilience, there is nothing small that can't grow big. We have to patiently wait. And there are in ministry there are seasons. And you need to also understand your season and then learn to wait on God, and everything will be fine. Okay, my ultimate goal is to build an enduring ministry that will actually outgrow me. My ultimate goal is to build ministry that will translate into a generational thing. I remember I was telling my children that there is nothing they achieve in this world. That the most important thing to me, you understand, is that they should still hold on to Jesus Christ. That if they have everything in this world and they turn out not to be a born-again Christian, or they forsake the God of their father, they will have failed me completely. And so in anything they do in life, you should always remember that the first inheritance I'm handing over to them is Jesus, and they must hand over that same inheritance to the next generation. And so that's my desire for people that I'm raising, that they will not just be a Christian, but they will the same life that they have received from Christ, they will be to hand it over to their own children, and it becomes a generational thing. Even if their children are not members of COT, COT Global, but if they can succeed in handing over that same belief to them, irrespective of any church they belong to in the world, then my vision will have been fulfilled. I think the interesting thing is, if first of all, to accept that I'm handsome. Because my wife keeps saying it every day. She can say it like 5 times. She used to call me Jesus model. That you are just shining early in the morning. You are 50, but you are not looking it. So at times it can get to me that leave me alone. You understand what I'm trying to say? But she just wants it to sink into my memory that you are looking good. So accepting that is one thing for me, to even accept that reality. You understand what I'm trying to say? But I think for me, even while I was in the bank, I remember when I was in the bank, one of the questions, a lady asked a question that, Pastor Femi, is it that we know you, but you're saying that all your banking career, you have never had any issue with any lady. You are a young guy. I started riding a BMW, brand new, 3 Series, at the age of 30. You are a young guy. You are making good money. You have good position. Are you saying you don't have any affairs, any relationship with any girl? And I said, I've never, all through my banking career. You understand? She can only talk about the bank where she may never know where I've worked before. But that was the truth. But I'm also, you know, some of these things basically is by, first and foremost, by the grace of God. Then secondly, self-discipline is important. I'm not somebody that is, I'm very careful. I don't misbehave before opposites sex. I respect married people. Even when many of them are younger than me, I use math for them. So when I use math for you, how will our conversation now go beyond? You understand what I'm trying to say? So I try to respect people. I don't visit anybody alone without my wife or somebody else going with me. I don't make unnecessary jest with people, either with single ladies alone or with married person. So I'm cautious, and everybody also know that I'm fond of my wife. I'm always with my wife most of the time. There's nobody in this world that cannot be tempted. But if we also live our life in a way that the devil will not be able to take advantage of it, I think to a very large extent, with the wisdom of God, I try to guide the way I go about my life so that I will not be exposed to some of these things that are in the world. Okay, I think in life the most important thing is that whatever, make the best out of whatever you are doing now. Irrespective that there is no bad course in the university. Because while I was in banking, we have people that read sociology, we have people that read biochemistry, people have medical doctor, you understand, that work in the bank. There is no bad course. But one thing that was common at my own level when I entered banking is that they were not taking people that didn't get up to second class cover. So that means that whatever, anything you find your hand to do, put your best into it. Irrespective of the course you are, just try to be your best and then prepare for the world. I remember when I was in the university, right from year 4, I started practicing GMAT. I was preparing for the world, preparing for interview. And that is the problem we have with people today. Many of them don't even know how to prepare CV. Many of them don't know how to attend interview. I started attending interview before I graduated from the university because I wanted to serve in a good organization. So then, if you are able to pass their test, when you're NYC, if you are posted to Lagos, they will allow you to serve with them. So I started even doing interview before I went for NYC. But a lot of people today just wait for after NYC before they even start thinking about job. Meanwhile, I have started thinking about job from my year 4. So you have to be proactive. Think ahead. Don't just live in the now. Begin to plan your future now. If you can live that kind of life, nothing will limit you from becoming successful in life. What I do to relax is to play at home, dance before my wife and my children, and some of those dance steps will be very funny. I don't think it's the kind of dance I want to do in the public, you understand, but that is the way I catch my fun. What I would have loved to change is the perception of people. Let's say it's about changing the world, it's about changing the perception of people about God. Because I see a world that do not really understand God. I see a world that is worshipping the devil. You understand? Everybody, the heart of the world is not after God. So if I can change anything, is that I want a world that everybody, the Bible says that God wants every man to be saved. So if I can change anything, is that everybody will have this hunger, this desire to serve God. That is my heartbeat, that everybody will just want to serve the Almighty God. The last thing I would like to say is that I see life as a privilege, and I'm very grateful for the life God has given to me. And for everybody out there, irrespective of what you are going through now in your life, it's a privilege that you have life, and make very good use of it.